Ja sam Sanda, dobrodošli na moj kanal. Today's video is very important.
So quickly, grab your notebook, grab your pen, and let's learn Croatian together. This is my video compilation of the most watched videos. And if you want to go beyond it, there's a absolutely free PDF and audio guide you can download below in the description of this video. So do that. See you, vidimo se!
When you wake up in the morning, you say Dobro jutro. So from the time you wake up till noon, we say Dobro jutro. Dobro jutro. Roll those R's, you guys. Repeat with me out loud. Dobro jutro. Dobro jutro. Dobro jutro. Dobro jutro. Good job. Dobro jutro. Now let's learn what to say after afternoon. So from noon up until when the sun goes down, we would say Dobar dan. Dobar dan. Dobar dan. So dobro jutro was good morning. Dobar dan is good day, good afternoon. Dobar dan. Then, so when the sun goes down and it's evening time, now you say Dobra večer. Dobra večer. Dobra večer. So those are the three main ones. Dobro jutro, dobar dan, dobra večer. Got it? Dobro jutro, dobar dan, dobra večer. You probably noticed that the first word is similar but changes the ending. So it's dobro jutro, dobar dan, dobra večer. If you want to know why that's happening, write me an email to learn Croatian properly with me. Other greetings in Croatian are more informal. We use bok, bog, ciao, zdravo. The easiest way to say both hi and bye is by saying bok. Bok can be used when you see somebody, and it can also be used when you are leaving and you're saying bye to somebody. Bok can be also written as bog with a G at the end. Bog with a G at the end means God also in Croatian. So in some places in the country, people will say bog with a K to say hi and bye, and in other places they will say bog with a G at the end. In old Croatian, people did used to say bog daj, which is kind of like may God give, may God provide. And that was the common greeting in the era of my grandma. However, you will also hear people say ciao, like in Italian. If you're on the coast, especially in Istria and in the Kvarner region around the city of Rijeka where I'm at. So we do like to use our ciao. And we also like to spell it with a ch. Zdravo is also a greeting. It can also mean hi and bye, zdravo. And some people like to make a fuss out of it. And in Croatian forums, on Facebook and such, you will oftentimes get into fights with people who argue whether zdravo is Croatian or Serbian. You know what? I don't mind it being both. It's fine by me. If you come to Croatia and tell me zdravo, I don't mind. I know you're greeting me. It's fine. I like it. I'm happy if you're foreign that you actually made an effort and you know how to say zdravo. If you're going to sleep and you want to say good night, you say laku noć. Laku noć. Laku noć. And when you're saying goodbye, we say doviđenja. Doviđenja, or the short bye, which is more informal and it's just bok. Bok or bog. Okay? Either way. So our goal is to say I am ... So first we need to say I. In Croatian that's ja, ja, ja. It's ja. J is a y. It's not ja, it's ja. We say am as some. Am is some in Croatian. It's pronounced sam. It's not a Sam. It's not the name Sam. A is always a. It's not a, it's a. So the whole thing is ja sam. Ja sam. In my case, I'll say ja sam Sanda. How about you? What are you going to say if you want to introduce yourselves? Please write me a comment below because I'm really interested in knowing what's your name, and I want you to say it and do it in Croatian. So leave a comment below. And now let's put this ja sam to some good use. You can say ja sam Sanda Baretic in my case. You can say I am your name and last name. You can also say I'm ... your profession. In my case, I'll say I'm a teacher. Ja sam učiteljica. Ja sam učiteljica. Okay, what will you say? You can write me that in the comment below as well. And if we know ja sam, we can also say dobro. Ja sam dobro. Who knows what that means? Yes, that means I'm fine. Ja sam dobro. So let's recap. Ja sam Sanda. Ja sam učiteljica. Ja sam dobro. You're doing great so far. If you'd like a handy PDF with audio so you can practice on the go, don't forget to check the link in the description. So the easiest way to say nice to meet you is by saying, listen carefully, drago mi je, drago mi je. I'll repeat that, drago mi je. So somebody comes and says, hey, I'm Steve. And you go and say, oh, drago mi je. It's a cool one because that sentence also means I'm glad. So you can use it to say that you're glad. You know, if somebody's having a nice day, you can say, oh, drago mi je. And it will mean, oh, I'm glad for you. I'm happy for you. Drago mi je. If you know some Croatian, you might recognize drago is something we write in the beginning of emails or letters if you still write them by hand. So dragi, draga is dear at the beginning of letters. And the sentence drago mi je can literally be translated to, oh, it's dear to me. Like it's dear, it's nice for me to have met you. That's the logic behind it. You can expand that one and you can say drago mi je što smo se upoznali. And that whole thing means I'm glad to have met you. Literally, I'm glad we have met each other. Let's repeat it. We have drago mi je and we also have drago mi je što smo se upoznali. Thank you in Croatian starts with an H and is followed by a V. So it makes it a little bit funny because you have to say hva, hva. Okay, the whole thing, the whole word thank you is hvala, hvala, hvala. It sounds good. Hvala, 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 hvala. Hvala, hvala. All right? Hvala. The second word to say you're welcome, the easiest one is molim. Molim. Molim is the easiest way to say you're welcome. It also means please, so it can be quite confusing. You can say molim as in please, then get hvala, and then say molim again as in you're welcome. Now let's move on to the next level for the ones who like to complicate a little bit or maybe have been seeing all these variations and are confused regarding those. So you might have heard hvala ti, hvala vam, puno hvala, hvala puno, hvala lijepa, or anything similar to that. Those are all valid. Hvala ti is used when we're talking to somebody informally, when we want to say thank you and make an emphasis in the you. So we say hvala ti. The same thing is hvala vam. but it's used when we talk with somebody formally, with respect, or when we talk to a group of people. If we want to say thanks a lot, like many thanks, then you can say puno hvala or hvala puno. And you can also say hvala lijepa, which is nice thanks. When it comes to you're welcome, there are also a couple of things we can say besides just plain old molim. So the way I like the best is nema na čemu. Nema na čemu. Nema na čemu. In English it means something like there's nothing to thank for. You could also have heard a reply besides molim i nema na čemu, and that's ništa. Ništa means nothing. So it's like, ništa. So somebody says hvala, and you say, ništa. Like, nothing, it's nothing. And there's another one, it can be, don't worry. In Croatian we have ne brini, as in don't worry, and also ne brinite. Ne brini is informal, ne brinite formal. If you're confused regarding what's formal, what's informal, Sanda, what's happening, what's that, then go ahead and watch my video on how to say, do you speak English in Croatian? Now, let's jump into it. There are two ways to say, do you speak English? So there is a form of formal communication and informal communication, which we use in the second person. That means when you say you, in English, you is always you. However, in Croatian, to anybody you don't really know, like the waiter or waitress in the cafe or restaurant, you would tell them the formal version. And to your friends, family members, and kids younger than you, you would speak with them with the informal way of speaking. So, knowing that, let's first learn the formal version. Do you speak English in Croatian? In formal version is govorite li engleski? Govorite li engleski? So let's focus on govorite. Govorite in itself means do you formally, because it has those two letters at the end, te. Govorite. I always say the more letters we have at the end of the verbs, more respect. Now that means do you speak formally when you ask somebody formally, but it's also used when you talk to a group of people. So if you are talking to a bunch of people, like there are 5 kids, and you will say, do you guys, like all of you, speak English? Then you would tell them govorite li engleski. And let's take a look at the second part. That's the li. That little li out of nowhere doesn't really mean anything. So li is a small and cute word which is just used for forming questions in the Croatian language. So if you see li, there's a question. That's all. Govorite li, that's done. And then we have the last word, which is engleski. Engleski means English in Croatian. And yes, we don't need to write the first E with a capital letter. It's fine like this. Lowercase is alright for languages in Croatian. And now let's move on to the informal way of asking, do you speak English? Now we don't use that te ending, which we've used because that's for formal. What we will use is the sh, which I call sh for shushing somebody. So the sh is used for you. So we have te for you, formal, and for a bunch of people, more letters, more people, more respect. And we have sh, only one letter, for one person, informally. So now the question, do you speak English, will sound like this. Govoriš li engleski? Govoriš li engleski? Oh, so now let's use that to ask my son. Hey, govoriš li engleski?
Da, govorim engleski.
Ah, he speaks engleski. Good. So there you have it. We've learned govorite li engleski and we've learned govoriš li engleski. If you're answering, like my son said, you should use the M for me. Govorim engleski. In his answer, he said, da, govorim engleski. Let's check it again.
Da, govorim engleski.
Let's go. The most important word we need to know is how to say please. Please is molim. Molim in Croatian. Molim. Repeat it out loud. Molim. Now, when you want to add in foods and drinks, there is one thing that's important for us, the native Croatian people, and that is this rule. So, if a word ends in an A, there is 90% chance that you have to change it to a U. Okay? If the word ends in an A, we change it to a U. So how does this work? If I want to say coffee, please, then you say molim kavu, despite kava being the basic word that you can Google if you put into Google Translate coffee in Croatian. So coffee in Croatian is kava, but it ends in an A, so if we ask for it, it changes to a U, and you get molim kavu. The same thing happens with voda, water. You get molim vodu. Okay, now you know how to ask for coffee and water. Molim kavu, molim vodu. How to ask for beer, for wine, then there's no change. There's no I at the end. Look at this. Molim pivo, a beer please. Molim vino, wine please. Molim chai, a tea please. Good. The same thing happens with foods. So if you want a pizza that ends in an A, you'll get molim pizzu. If you want a pasta, you can say molim paštu, or the proper word, which is molim tjesteninu. Pasta is a spoken one. Tjestenina is more polished, but I dare say less used. Now let's jump into it and let's learn some Hrvatski, some Croatian. First things first, we need to know how to say yes, no, and maybe. Let's go. Da. 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 Repeat with me, out loud. Da. Okay, now you know it. That's a yes. Ne. 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 Great job. Ne is a no. Maybe. Možda. 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 So we have da, ne, možda. Da, ne, možda. There are also a couple of these small tiny words we like to use, like the connectors of the sentences, but sometimes people mix them and confuse them. So here we go. I means and. I. 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 Ili means or. Ili. 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 Ali means but. Ali. 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 Okay, so we have I, ili, ali. Hvala. Hvala, thank you. Hvala, say that H. Hvala. And then molim. 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 Hvala I molim. Great, let's go on. Idemo dalje. Let's go on. Hi is bok. And very conveniently, it also means bye. Bok. Okay, let's get back to learning. Good day, good afternoon is dobar dan. Dobar dan. Dobar dan. There are other greetings in Croatian, so you can watch my other videos for learning how to say good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and all those things. But the most important one, dobar dan. If you're saying goodbye in a more eloquent way than just bok, then go with doviđenja. Doviđenja. What I always say at the end of my videos. And there's another small little word that I've just inserted into the mix, and that's evo. Evo is here you go when you're giving something to somebody. Evo. Okay, that's all for now. Write me a comment below. What are your essential Croatian words? If you know some Croatian words from before, write them below. What is it that you need to use the most when you speak in Croatian with your family, friends? What are some of your favorites? Thank you for watching. That's all for today. If you want to learn Croatian with me, write me an email. My email is below, down there in the description box of this video. So email me for Croatian lessons for kids, individual lessons, and Croatian group lessons. Like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next video. Do viđenja! Bok! Now you've learned the basics. To keep practicing, download my free 20 Essential Croatian Phrases for Travelers PDF guide with audio. The link is below, and if you enjoyed this, subscribe for more Croatian language and culture videos.